Greetings, Iain from RTO here. Welcome to Then and Now. And before we start, I'd just like to apologise for the late uploading of Rush yesterday. It took for an age to upload. I think it finally went live at 4 o'clock this morning because I had to schedule it because it was so slow. So I apologise for that. These things can't be helped. So anyway, today, then and now, we are looking at the solo career of a certain Peter Frampton. If you look in, I love it how on Wikipedia they put, I'm just going to quote what it says. It says, Peter Kenneth Frampton, born 22nd of April 1950, is an English American. He was born in England, so he's English. No. Obviously, he was associated with Humble Pie and The Herd. We're not going to, because that is for future shows. He made 4 albums with Humble Pie and left in 1971 to become a solo artist. But his international breakthrough album was the live album Comes Alive. He's made a few albums over the years and he's sold a lot of albums. I think Come Alive has spawned several hit singles and has sold more than 8 million copies in the United States to date, let alone the rest of the world. He's worked with people like Ringo Starr, John Entwistle, David Bowie, Mike Cameron and Mick McCready from Pearl Jam. Not a bad little thing to do, was it? Work with a couple of modern rockers. So let's have a look at his debut album as a solo artist. The album was called Wind of Change. It was released in 1972. Features appearances by Ringo Starr, Billy Preston and Klaus Voormann. People playing on the album was Peter Frampton, who played lead vocals, lead guitar, acoustic guitar, Hammond organ, drums and all sorts of things. Frank Carrillo on guitars, Mick Jones rhythm and guitar, Andy Bown. Yes, Andy Bown from Status Quo was on Hammond and electric piano and mellotron. Wick Will's bass guitar. Klaus Voormann also appeared on bass guitar. Billy Preston on Hammond. Mike Kelly was drumming. Ringo Starr drummed on a couple of tracks. Del Newman did the strings. And it was produced by Chris Kimsey and Peter Frampton. First track is Fig Tree Bay. Great track this is. Quite a popular track. Very mellow. Love Peter's guitar work in this. Very, very good track. Then we get Wind of Change, the title track. Another really relaxing, chill out track. Lady Lieright, again, great chill track. Great keyboards on this from Andy Bown. And I love the congas on this. Who plays the congas on this? Should tell me somewhere. It doesn't say, but someone's got some great conga. Here we go. Chris Karen, sorry, plays congas. Pretty good. Then we get Jumpin' Jack Flash, the Stones song. Unfortunately, I'm not very keen on that version. It's a plain shame. Great little rock track this is. This is where the album starts to rock up a little bit. Great solo from Peter Frampton. Absolutely stunning stuff. Oh, for Another Day. Again, the guitar work on this is superb. Very underrated guitar player is Peter Frampton. All I Wanna Be is By Your Side. Pretty good track. Guitar solo again is just absolutely brilliant. Really makes that track. The Lodger, classic Peter Frampton here playing, is absolutely superb. Hard never been a fan of this at all. Just couldn't get into it. And all right, great track, my favourite on the album. Nice little rocker to end the album with. Now, I like this album. It's got a good mixture of. I like how they've mixed it. You've got at the beginning of the album, you've got the more mellow tracks, split up by the cover of Jumpin' Jack Flash, and then you get the more rockier tracks. Okay, I don't think Peter Frampton's the best singer in the world, but boy, can he play guitar. What did everyone think of it? Well, it only got to 177 on the Billboard, which is a shame because it's not a bad debut album. Got some really nice songs on it. What did they rate it? All Music gave it 4 stars. Krista Goo's Record gave it a B-, and the Rolling Stone Guide gave it 4. So when it comes to the fans weren't quite sure, but the critics loved it. So song quality, some really good songs on here. I like these songs, they're all very good. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 for song quality. Production, very nicely produced. Good sound. Sometimes it feels like they're actually playing in your lounge, and that's pretty good. So I'm going to give that a 4 out of 5. Reception, as I said, the fans were a little bit out on it, but the critics loved it. Well, 2 of the critics loved it. So when you sum that up, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 because it didn't. If the fans would have loved it and it was become more popular, it may have given them an extra mark. But I'm going to have to give it a 3 out of 5, as I said. So that gives us a grand total for Wind of Change by Peter Frampton of 11. So, time machine time. We're going to go 49 years. That is a long time. And then we get to the 18th album by Peter Frampton. It was released only last year in 2021 on the 23rd of April, and it's called Frampton Forgets the Words. It's his 18th studio album, and it's an album of instrumental versions of some of Frampton's favourite songs by other artists. This was a follow-up to his blues covers album. Unfortunately, we didn't get a farewell tour because of COVID, but he did a lot of work because sadly he was diagnosed in 2014 with body mycosis, which is a muscle wasting disease. It's a very nasty disease, and such a sad for Peter because he is a fantastic hard-working musician. Such a shame, but the music has always been good. So on this album we've got Peter Frampton on guitars and Adam Lester on guitars, Glenn Worf on the bass, Rob Arthur on keyboards, Dan Wojcicki on the drums. We've got Gordon Kennedy, who plays a 12-string electric guitar and acoustic guitars, and percussions by Eric Darken. Produced by Chuck Ainley and Peter Frampton. So these are all covers, but they're all instrumentals. So the first one is If You Want to Stay, If You Want Me to Stay by Sly Stone. This is a really good version of this song. Some of the guitar work on this is brilliant. It's got a lovely wah-wah. The guitar solo is pretty good. Excellent track. I really like that version. It's got that feel of a Sly Stone, but it's just great. Then we get Reckoner by Radiohead. I'm not a great fan of Radiohead. Never have been, never will be. but I'm going to upset a lot of fans here of Radiohead. I think Peter Frampton's version of Reckoner is far better. I actually listened to Radiohead's. Oh dear, I just find it boring, but this is beautiful. Dreamland, which is a Michael Cumier, who is a French composer. It's just sublime. This is great guitar work from Peter on it. I do like that. Then we get a really good version of One More Heartache from Marvin Gaye. Pretty good. Next track is Avalon, Roxy Music. What a great version of this. Keeps very much to the Roxy Music version, but instead of Brian Ferry singing, you get Peter Frampton making that guitar sing. Brilliant. Then we get George Harrison's Isn't It a Pity. Brilliant guitar work on there. Great track. I Don't Know Why, the Stevie Wonder number. Great stuff. Then we get my favourite track on the album, Are You Going My Way, from Lenny Kravitz. I love this song, and this is one of the best cover versions I've heard of it. It's absolutely brilliant. Loving the Alien, of course, from Mr. Bowie. Fantastic, great bit of music. Now, Maybe is a song by Gordon Kennedy, who plays on this. He's a Christian singer, folk rock singer, and it's a great track. It's a good track anyway, and Peter does a brilliant cover of it, and obviously Gordon Kennedy's actually playing on it. Fantastic. Now, what do I think of this album? It is fantastic. It's a showboat for Peter Frampton to show his guitar skills. He did these tracks so much justice, and if this is going to be his last ever album, it's not a bad one to go out on. It's okay, it's all covers, but he plays wonderful on here. So that's enough of what I think of it. Let's see what everyone else thought of it. Hal Holritz, from American songwriter, admires the purity of Frampton's guitar playing on the album, saying that this aspect has often lost behind crowd-pleasing talkbox showboating. He's right. People forget about how good he is. Max Bell of Classic Rock describes the arrangements as richly toned, and I agree with him. Really, really good. He says that his highlights are I Don't Know Why and Dreamland. Very good. Ryan Williston from Spill magazine said Frampton provides the exception of an idea that a new release can be by an aging rocker deserves to be ignored. He finds Frampton's playing effective and a substitute for the human voice. Brilliant. And Dave Gill of Riff magazine considers the slower, emotive adaptations of Harrison, Bowie and Roxy Music songs to be more effective than the album's heavier rock tracks. Again, they were saying about how he done poignant snapshot of an artist whose playing abilities under the threat yet seeks to create and connect to his audience in the COVID area. Right, respect. There's nowhere it got albums. Well, the public liked it, but AllMusic gave it 3 stars. American Songwriter 4, Classic Rock 4, Riff Magazine 7 out of 10, and Spill 4 out of 5. So, song quality. Well, he picked some really good tracks to cover. I've got no complaint, so that's 4 out of 5. Production, as ever, produced beautifully. Every instrument you can hear crystal clear. Reception. I think everyone I've spoken to about it say they like it. They like his playing. The critics loved it. So I'm going to give it 4. 4 out of 5, giving us a total of 12. Now, would you think that a cover album would score more than original music? Well, there you are, it's happened. It is a great album, and it's an album that I play a lot. And it's definitely a Sunday morning album. Okay, let's then look at some of his other albums in his catalogue. Starting in 1973 with Frampton's Camel. He's got Peter Frampton on here, Mick Gallagher, Wick Rills, John Simonis and Frank Colino. I've got my eyes on you, good track, all night long, it's okay. Lines on my face, sublime guitar solo on that, one of my favourite songs by Peter Frampton. Which Way the Wind Blows is there. I Believe, When I Fall in Love It'll Be Forever. Stevie Wonder's track, it's alright. White Sugar, nice little rock song this is, really enjoy that one. Don't Fade Away, again a brilliant solo in this. Then we get Just the Time of Year, and the album ends with Do You Feel Like We Do. Okay, 1974 we had Something's Happening with Peter Frampton on guitars, Rick Wills on the bass, John Simos, who's credited as John Headley Down for some reason, on drums. Additional personnel is Nicky Hopkins, the pianos on tracks 6 and 8. Doobie Was, the opener, Golden Goose, Underhand, great guitar work on that one of my favourite tracks. I Want to Go to the Sun. Then we got Baby Something's Happening, nice little rocker this is. Then we get Waterfall. I love the piano from Nicky Hopkins on that, yeah, it's fantastic. Magic Moon, Da 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 Da. The effects on the guitars on this are pretty good. And then the album ends up with Sail Away. Then we get 1975's Frampton. We got Peter Frampton was doing all the guitars. Mr. Andy Bown on the bass guitar this time. John Simonis on the drums. Poya Palmer on the vibes. Opens up with the most famous track by Peter, Show Me the Way. But I think the live version's far better. It's a good song though. One More Time's on here, The Crying Clown, Fanfare, Nowhere's Too Far for Me Baby, a good little rocker. He does do some great little rockers. Then we get Nassau and Baby I Love You, Love Your Way, pretty cool. Apple of Your Eyes, okay. Penny for Your Thoughts, love this little short bit of guitar. It just shows how good Peter is on the guitar. I'll Give You Money, one of the heaviest songs Peter Frampton ever did. It's hard, it's heavy, it's great. 1977 then, we've got On With I'm In You. Peter Frampton's on the guitars, Bob Mayo's on the keyboard, Stevie Wonder plays harmonica on Rocky's Hot Club. Well, that's made him wake up when I said his name, his ears pricked up. Mick Jagger is backing vocals on In You and Try to Love. Mike Finnegan's backing vocals, Stanley Sheldon bass guitar, Ringo Starr does the drums on some of them, and so does John Simonis. I'm In You, great track. Hear Mick in the background giving it large. St Thomas, You Won't Be My Friend, it's okay. You Don't Have to Worry, love the guitar work in this, superb stuff. Try to Love, another good track, real rocky feeling to it. I think that's something to do with Mick Jagger, because he sounds like a Stones track. Then we get Rocky's Hot Club, not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a dog that's fast asleep. He's not hot at all today. Harmonica on there from Stevie Wonder's pretty good. I'm a Road Runner, great little cover of that. Signed, Sealed and Delivered, I'm Yours, another track that Stevie Wonder's involved with, pretty good. 1979 then, we get to Where Should I Be. Some interesting people on here. Peter Frampton on guitar, Steve Cropper on guitars, Bob Mayo on keyboards, Eddie M. Watkins Jr. bass, Stanley Sheldon on here, Donald Dunn. Now Donald Dunn and Steve Cropper were in the Blues Brothers, and they're great blues players anyway. Then you got a couple of drummers, Gary Malbella, Jamie Oldar and Steve Foreman, and the Tower of Power, the horn section. Opens up with a track called I Can't Stand It Anymore. Oh, the bass is good on this, and it reminds me of Another One Bites the Dust. I got my feet back on the ground. Good track. Where Should I Be? The Monkeys song. Great track. Quite a good rocker. Everything I Need. Nice little blues track here, and a bit of horns in there. Very Blues Brothers. Great stuff. May I Baby. It's okay. You Don't Know. Start again. You Don't Know It Like I Know. Isaac Hayes is involved in that. It's all right. She Don't Reply. Another good little rocker here. We've Just Begun. Pretty good. Take My Hand. Then it's Sad Affair. That's got some nice guitar work from Peter Frampton on that one. 1981 then. Breaking All the Rules. Next album. Peter Frampton, Steve Lukather, John Regan on the bass, Arthur Steed on the keyboards, and Jeff Porcaro on drums. Dig What I Say, great rock. One of my favourite tracks again from Peter Frampton. Nice track. Like the second track, I Don't Want to Let You Go, another great rock track. Rise Up, the Alessi Brothers, solid. Wasting the Night Away, Going to LA, You Kill Me. Friday on My Mind, not the best cover of that I've heard. Lost That A Part of You, and then Breaking All the Rules, great stonking track to end the album. The Art of Control was next in 1982. Peter Frampton, Mark Goldberg on the rhythm and keyboards, John Regan on bass again, Harry Stinson on drums, Ian Lloyd backing vocals, Eddie Kramer backing vocals on Barbara's Vacation, and J.D. Work now backing vocals. I Read the News, love this, that's got a great meaty bass line on it. Sleepwalk, again, I love these rock tracks that Peter does, they're really good. Save Me, belting. Back to Eden, Eye for an Eye, So Stones but brilliant. Don't You Think About Me, Heart on Fire, Here Comes Caroline, and Barbara's Vacation. Pretty good track that is. 1986 is next, and that is Premonition. Peter Frampton, Tony Levin's on this. Plays bass on the Chapman bass, Chapman stick on Call of the Wild. Richard Cottle on keyboards, Omar Hamkin and Steve Ferrone do the drums. Chuck Kirkpatrick backing vocals. Pete Solly is on here on piano on Stop, and Richie Punet plays percussion. First track is Stop. Nice work from Mr. Solly on the piano. Hiding from the Heartaches, okay. You Know So Well, title track Premonition, Lion. Moving the Mountain, one of the few highlights on the album. This is not a particularly favourite album of mine. All Eyes on You, Into the View, Call of the Wild, So Far Away, Nothing at All. Next album up, 1989, When All the Pieces Fit. We've got Peter Frampton, Nathan East on the bass, John Regan's back doing some bass, Chris Lord Alg does a bit of keyboards as well, John Robinson, Steve Ferrone share the drumming, Lenny Castro does a bit of percussion. We've got Rick Wills, Gene McLean, Mark Williamson, Alfie Salas, Danny Wilde, B.A. Robinson, Bang Bang, B.A. Robinson backing vocals, and some sax from on this time around from Sam Reaney. Opens up with the More Than Ways Than One. It's okay. Holding On to You's reasonable. My Heart Goes Out to You, Hold Tight, People All Over the World. It's a bit weak, that track. Back to the Start, Don't Mind This, again it's one of the better tracks on here. Mind Over Matter, Don't Mind This one, some nice riffing on that. Now and Again, hard earned love from this time around. You go to 1994, sorry. self-titled Peter Frampton. We got Lee Sakar and John Reagan doing bass, Kevin Savfinger on some keyboards, Denny Fungsizer and John Robinson doing the drums, and we got Steve Marriott doing vocals on Out of the Blue. Oh, the voice is cracking, a bit of a drink. Jonathan Kane on the electric piano. First track, Day in the Sun. Great solo on that. Brilliant. Then we get You Can Be Sure. And then all it comes down to, it's one of those tracks, that genteel sound, something straight off that debut album. You like this one, good track. Can't Take That Away, great blues number, absolutely out the top drawer with a fantastic solo. Young Island's pretty good. It's a little ditty of acoustic guitar showing again the skills of Peter Frampton. Off the Hook, this is brilliant, great bluesy rock shuffled the track. Waiting for Your Love, so hard to believe. Then we get Out of the Blue with Steve Marriott doing some vocals, pretty good track. Shelter Through the Night, great little rocker. Changing All the Time has got one of Peter Frampton's best guitar solos ever. It's just fantastic. Moving on, we go into the new century. We had 2003's Now. Peter Frampton as ever, Bob Mayo's back, John Regan's back, and we've got Chad Cromwell on the drums. Verge of a Thing starts the album, it's okay. Flying Without Wings, it's just one of them boogie shuffle tracks that I love. Love Stands Alone, Not Forgotten, Hour of Need, Mia Rose, I'm Back, I Need Ground. They're okay tracks. Then he does a stonking version of George Harrison and the Beatles' While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Brilliant. Then we get Green's belting solo on this, another bluesy track. 2006 we get Booted Up. This is just basically a little bit of just guitar, not much on, there's not many people on here. We've got Boot It Up, Idol of a Looter, Black Hole Sun, which he does with Matt Cameron and Mike McCready, that's pretty good. Float, just for Gordon Kennedy, atmospheric, great stuff. My Cup of Tea, now this features Hank Marvin and Brian Bennett from the Shadows. What a great combination. Hank Marvin, Peter Frampton. I like that track. She'll Wango Way, belting rock track. Brilliant. Blues featuring Warren Haynes. Bluesy sound, pretty good. Cornerstones, now this features Charlie Watts and Bill Wyman. Great drumming on here. Grab a Chicken, it's alright. Double Nickels, great stuff. Smoky, it's okay. Blowing Smoke, featuring the guys Matt Cameron and Mike McCready from Pearl Jam, pretty good. Oh When's a Little Thing, and then we get Souvenirs de New Play, it's okay. It's not a bad album, it's a bit mixture of, it's basically plug-in and go sort of thing, it's pretty different. 2010 though, then, Thank You Mr. Churchill, love the cover of that, it's pretty cool. Peter Frampton, Eddie Willis and Gordon Kennedy on the electric guitars, Bob Babbitt, Craig Young on the bass, Rob Jones does keyboards, Chad Cromwell and Kenneth Rice, Matt Cameron do the drums, Eric Dark and Matt Cameron do some percussion, and then we get a few backing vocals on this. Thank You Mr. Churchill, not a very good track. Solution, nice rocker. Road to the Sun featuring Gunn with Julian Frampton, yeah, not a bad track. I'm Due For You's alright. Vaudeville Nana and the Bianjoli, it's okay. Asleep at the Wheel, it's okay. The Sweet Libertaire is brilliant. Restraint, I Want It Back, very heavy. Invisible Man, Black Ice, I Understand, another great rocker. and ends up with a track called 1,000 Dreams. 2014 then, Hummingbird in a Box. There's different people play on this all over the place, so if we was list them, we'll be there till next week. So the first track's called At the Promenade Retreat. Then we get the title tracks, Hummingbird in a Box. Nice little quirky track that is. The one in the 901, that's alright. Friendly, Fire's okay, good little track. Heart to My Chest, pretty cool. Shadow of Mind, okay. And then we get this thing called Norman Wisdom, Jazzy Blues number, fantastic track. It's got an upright double bass, fantastic. Okay, Acoustic Classics next, 2016. This is basically Peter and his guitar, acoustic guitar, singing through his catalogue. It's okay. Sometimes I find these albums that have just got a guitar and a little bit monotonous. It's got Fig Tree Bay on it, Wind of Change, All I Want to Be, Show Me the Way, Lines on My Face, Sail Away, Baby I Love You Always, All Down to Me, Penny for Your Thoughts, Do I Feel Like I Do, and I'm in You. It's alright. 2019, he was very busy in the last few years. All blues. Again, these are all blues covers, but he's got an interesting people on here. Got Peter Frampton, of course, David LeBrury on bass, Sonny Landreth on the slide guitar, Larry Carlton on guitar, another great blues player, Rob Arthur, Kim Wilson on harp, Dan Wojcinski's back on drums, Glenn Worf does some bass, and Steve Morse, Dixie Dregs and Deep Purple. First track is I Just Want to Make Love to You, the old Willie Dixon number, made famous by Etta James, of course, Bevel version of that track. She Caught Katie, song made very famous because it was in the original Blues Brothers movie. Brilliant stuff. Georgia on My Mind, awesome version of this. You Can't Judge a Book by the cover, another Willie Dixon song, fantastic. Every track on here is good. Me and My Guitar, another great version of that. All blues from Miles Davis, fantastic. The Thrill Is Gone, stonking version of that, best one on the album. Going Down Slow, marvellous stuff. I just love the blues. I'm a King Bee, solid, and Same Old Blues, brilliant. Well, that's all that Peter Frampton's put out. He's put out a lot. Now these last albums, although they got covers, the last two are covers, they're some of his best work. The blues album, if you love your blues, get this, because Peter plays on it fantastically. Now this is a man that's not a well man, and he still puts a mean guitar. He's a very underrated guitarist, is Mr. Frampton. Okay, if you wondered why we haven't done the live album, we're going to do that on its own, because it is a fantastic live album. We're going to do it in a classic album slot at some stage. Probably it's going to be within either this month or next month. We're going to do The Herd, So, and Humble Pie. They're all in the list to do, so we'll cover most of Peter Frampton that way as well. So that's all for today on this one. We'll be back later with album artwork, and this week it's Aerosmith. So I'll be back for that later. Take care for now.